We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a dear heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home. I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll and the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobuni wave was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us. Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Hey. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. I see the rising sun from Africa. Oh, this is time of victory. Oh, yeah. I see future in Africa. Oh, yeah. People of Biafra. See light shining on the world. Oh, yeah.
What's that, Martin? We're not fighting each other. We know where we're going. We're going to get Biafra. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I need them to understand this. We've crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return. There is nothing anybody can do. If I'm alive, if I'm dead, if I'm wherever I may be, Biafra will come. If I'm dead, it's even better because it will come far more quicker. I can assure you. If Biafra is fighting for you, no one will touch your property. If you're fighting alone, you're bound to lose it. So Biafra is the best. We will become the 16th member country of ECOWAS. If Nigeria doesn't release those properties, then we'll take them to court and we'll get them back. Even twice the value. The Jews had investments all over the world. Most of the priceless artifacts and paintings belong to many families in Germany. It was stolen by the Nazi Party. Do you know that? Eventually, they got everything back with compensation on top of it. That's what we're going to do. If you touch our investments, we'll come back for you, and we'll know where we can get it from. So there is nothing for anyone to worry about. It's only if I'm not stopping you from being a Nigerian. If you are born on the streets of Lagos and you want to be a Lagosian and your name is Adama, oh well and good. There's no problem.
Onye si na akata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị iwe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi ga arụ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị pụta anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekwa sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị agaghị isi efu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizoba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọgbọgọwa memilere Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo memile Fero site otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị ga-ebi ka o wee taa akọkọ ikiri ụtọ ọsọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụ nwa bụ ekekere n'igwe n'ụwa onye ọbụla kere gị n'oge mmalite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị gwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ ma abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening program. I appreciate everyone that has connected. Wherever you are connecting from, please like and share the program to all platforms, share to family and friends, share to those who are seeking for answers, share for those who you feel that this very message will be important to them, share to everyone that need to hear us. Our voice must be heard. We cannot afford to be silent, not now. Everyone must start speaking from their own corners, from their own angle. Wherever you are, you must continue to speak. Continue to add your own opinion, add your voice. Don't be silent because there is no more time. There is no more time. The atrocities of the Janjaweed have increased. The takeover of Nigeria by the terrorists have continued, and the only thing we can do is to continue to speak. This is not the time to be silent. This is not the time to be silent and pretend nothing is happening. This is not. What we have now is a very terrible and difficult time, and we have to try as much as possible to do what we have to do and do it now. In case you are there and you think that this is a joke, it is not a joke. The Afghanistan template is finally completing gradually. It is gradually completing, and there is nothing anyone can do about that. So wherever you are, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Kabiam to rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up and speak up. Wherever you are at this moment, just know that the time has come. This is not the time to be silent. The world is changing. And as the world is changing, wherever you position yourself, wherever you put yourself is where you are going to be. The world is not waiting for anybody. The world is not going to wait for you, neither is the world going to wait for me. The atrocities of the Janjaweeds today, as we speak, have intensified. The takeover of Nigeria is happening. Some of you still think it's a joke. It is not fun. It is not a joke. It's not entertainment. For a very long time, many people have spoken about the Islamization of Nigeria. If you do not believe Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, at least you can believe General T.Y. Danjuma. If you don't believe Danjuma, you can believe Commodore Oluwumi. Commodore Oluwumi, who spoke, a security officer. This is an internal security of Nigeria. These are people who don't speak anyhow. But Commodore came out and told you that the Islamization will definitely happen. So everything we are saying today, it is not about us. Even if you don't like us, you hate the God of Biafran people. It is not about us. It is about saving the life of ordinary citizens, including yourself that is watching this program. This is not about the Biafran people. Neither is it about any particular individual. It is about everyone. If it doesn't affect you today, it is definitely going to affect you tomorrow. It will affect you next. So wherever you are watching this program from, I urge you to take this as your own responsibility to speak up wherever you are. I know many people are angry for one reason or the other. No matter what the problem might be, no matter what the challenges might be, no matter what is happening, you should try as much as possible to add your own voice. Try as much as possible to make sure that your own voice is heard. So, my fellow Biafrans, I want you never to take away your mind from the defense and protection of your land. You must try as much as possible to focus on your life. In the morning, we spoke extensively about the insecurity in Nigeria and how the federal government of Nigeria is involved. The involvement of the government of Nigeria in terrorizing the citizens is not a joke. It is not a joke. It is now becoming much more clearer than you can ever imagine. It is becoming very clear every day. And it is sad that some of us are not taking the issue serious. Some are still busy thinking that this is about the Biafran people. Some are still busy thinking that it's about a particular individual. If you know what you are going to do to secure your life, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. The northern part of Nigeria is already in the hand of this terrorist. They have taken over the northern part of Nigeria, and there is nothing you can do about it. The government cannot help you. The government are not interested. They are not interested one bit on how to solve this problem. For those of you who think, oh, the government will come to your aid, they will not come to your aid. because they are not ready. The insecurity will intensify, the insecurity will increase. As we speak, the northern part of Nigeria already has been run over. There is no place to hide. Borno State today, Boko Haram is preparing to capture Borno entirely. Many of you must have seen the video and the ammunition they captured in Borno. What you saw is not a joke. What you saw is not a drama. What you saw was not just an entertainment. What you saw is a reality. What you saw was war happening before your own very eyes. Nobody is going to help you. The government of Nigeria is not going to. Is it Tinubu? Tinubu is in contract with the terrorists. You just had Shegumi come out to tell you that Tinubu knows these people by their name. He knows where they stay and where they live. That is why each time they kidnap, the government will just go and give them money. After giving them money, they will release the people they kidnap. You can never hear that they attacked and flushed out the terrorists and rescued people. You can never hear about any rescue. What we hear is ransom pay. They go and pay the ransom and they deny. The northern part is taken over. Benue has bleed. Benue people have cried and cried and cried until they lost tears. They can't even cry anymore. Benue have cried and cried. Nobody answers them. Nobody pays attention to their plight. And they resign their fate to face whatever they see. How long are you going to continue on this trajectory? The entire northern part of Nigeria is taken over by the terrorists. And they pretend nothing is happening. Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to come to your aid. That is why we are calling on people to rise up. If you are there preparing for election, shame on you, more especially people from the old southeastern region. You are talking of election, shame on you, big shame on you. Because I bet you will not be alive to tell the story of what is going to happen. You will not be alive to tell the story. When we say these things, people will think we are making it up. Don't worry. It is a question of time. A question of time, it will happen, and you will see it in your doorstep. Our duty here is to continue to create awareness where necessary. We will continue to create awareness where necessary. But for those who we are talking to, it is left for you to either listen or not. Nobody's going to force you. We cannot force you against your will to listen. It is your own duty. It is your choice to choose either to listen or not to listen, either to take action or not to take action. But one thing I want you to have in mind is that if you are one of those who is waiting for Nigerian government to do something for you, sorry. I say sorry. You are going to wake up beside your forefathers. And before you know it, it is already too late. When the Canadian court told us that all the political parties in Nigeria are terrorist organizations, some of you thought it was just a propaganda. Some of you just thought it was just a joke. But I bet you it is not. It is reality. It is a reality. You must be very careful. You must be very careful. Wherever you are, Know that Nigeria is not safe for you. Anywhere, it is not safe. It is not safe. The kidnapping has continued. They continue to kidnap every day. And they kidnap after kidnapping, they will show the video live. After kidnapping, they will show the video. They will show you the video. And it's left for you to say what you want to say. They continue to kidnap. Look at somebody that was kidnapped. This is somebody that was kidnapped and he's begging for his life. Look at it. This is somebody that was kidnapped, begging for his life. A few days ago, on his way to Sokoto. And this is Iswa. Brutal terrorist organization. Look at them. This is a kidnapped victim begging for his life. On Saturday, 5th of March, they are asking for 100 million naira to release him. This is how people are kidnapped every day in Nigeria. You can imagine. You can imagine. This thing is happening every day, every single day. Nobody is doing anything. Can you imagine? Yes, kidnapping, the biggest industry in Nigeria. The biggest industry in Nigeria, kidnapping. Everybody is just waiting for their own turn. If it has not happened to you, you would think it's not happening. Until it happened to your own brother or your sister, or somebody that's close to you, then you will understand that all this shouting we are shouting online every day, that we are doing something. Something has to be done. You will understand that the Igbo people are not your problem. You will understand that Biafrans are not your problem. You will understand. Some people are still playing around. Some still think, oh, it is about the Biafran people. It is about the Igbo people. Some are still talking about election. By the time you see it happen to your brother, happen to your sister, or happen to somebody that's close to you, you will now understand. Nigeria is not a place to be. Nigeria has to be disintegrated to save life. Nothing is going to stop the insecurity. Nothing on earth will stop it. Afghanistan template it has already kicked off. You will wake up one day and you hear an announcement that Borno entirely has been taken over. Sokoto taken over, Katsina taken over. And all the Sharia state will follow on. And I bet you the people in the Sharia state will celebrate it. Take it to the bank. They will celebrate the takeover. They will announce it that today, finally, that Borno have been declared as a caliphate. Sokoto declared as a caliphate. Katsina declared a caliphate. And all the northern states that practice Sharia will join them to declare. It is going to happen. But what we are saying that they must not extend it to the south, more especially the old Eastern region. That is why it pains me when some idiots are fighting against our liberation army. When some idiots are talking against our liberation army that have fought battle to keep us till today. Mazen Nandekanu created the ESN. The ESN kept the Fulani away from our land until Mazen Nandekanu was kidnapped and they tried to destroy it. Mazen Simon came in, converted them into an army, continued to use them to guide the land. Mazen Simon was kidnapped. They destroyed it today. They are waging an extensive war, using our own people to destroy the forces that were on the ground to defend. And I ask you, if Fulani invade Biafra land today, who is going to fight for you? If Fulani decide to invade Biafra land today, who is going to fight? Who is going to put up a fight for you? Within your own self, ask yourself that question and answer it sincerely. Answer it based on what you have seen, not what you are told. Answer it based on what you have seen, not what you are told. Who is going to defend Biafra land today? If, for instance, Fulani succeed in invading our land, who? Which force do you think will defend Biafra land? Tell me. Write it on the comment section. We will continue to talk, whether they want to hear or they don't want to hear. Does it matter anymore? It doesn't matter anymore for us. The only assignment we have is that we will continue to speak, whether they like it or not. Our duty is to bring information to those who want information so that they can hear it and make corrections where necessary. We will continue to say it the way it is. Eku anọrọ gburu nwata, but afọ eku na-egbu okenye. That is what we know. For this very platform where I am, our own duty is to say whatever we see. Whatever we see, we will say it. It doesn't matter who is concerned. It doesn't matter whose fault is God. Whatever we say, we will bring it for people to hear. My fellow Biafrans, I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to this very program that I'm about to present, to this video we are about to watch. Pay close attention. I am going to play some video from their conventional media, and I want you to pay close attention so that you can understand what is going on. I don't want you to be deceived. Don't allow yourself to be deceived. You must pay attention. It doesn't matter how aggrieved you are. It doesn't matter how troubled you are. Pay attention. Our duty is to bring information. It is left for you either to listen or not. So let us go to their media and hear what they have on this very program. Very important.
Attacks, banditry, and kidnappings continue to affect communities across the country. Beyond the tragic loss of lives, analysts warn that insecurity is now shaping nearly every aspect of national life, from economic activity and education to politics and public confidence in government. Former presidential candidate Peter Obi has warned that the repeated failure to protect citizens reflects a deeper leadership crisis and has called for an urgent national response to what he describes as a growing security emergency. As pressure mounts on Nigeria's security institutions, the international dimension is also evolving, with the United States increasing security cooperation and deploying military advisors to support counter-terrorism efforts. So what exactly is driving Nigeria's worsening insecurity? Are current strategies working? And what must change to restore stability? Well, I'm now joined by a man who is experienced to answer these questions. Retired Major General Anthony Atolawin is a former field commander of the Special Task Force Operation Safe Haven. He's also a security consultant for AU and ACOS. Glad to have you join me.
Yours.
Yeah, let's start this conversation this way. When you said expand military presence and stronger border controls to restore safety, especially in vulnerable communities and unmanned spaces. Some would say, what do you even mean? Others would say it's been same sounds, Nigerians have been hearing over the years, and yet the security seems to be worse.
If I'm to start this from my own perspective, I am aware that there are policy directives emanating from higher or superior offices within the Federation. And these directives are supposed to be broken into implementation strategies. So when they come to strategies, you now come and start bringing down to operational directives, which goes to military commanders, police commanders, and so on. So you will recall that there has been several policies put in place in the area of generating more troops, use of, training of forest guards, as well as the expansion of the police food on the ground. And then you talk about also relieving them of the duties that they are doing in the area of doing escorts and so on. So from the perspective of who is giving the directive, that is perhaps from the president's office, he is aware that there are going to be more hands that are going to be generated. I'll give you an example of what the army is doing, for instance. Before now, we used to have just one training depot in Nigeria, and that is still in Zaria. But as I speak, 2 additional training areas have been added. Is that enough? One is in Oshobo. It depends on the number of troops that are being trained. We see the training turning, we see them turning out about 6,000 from one depot in 6 months. So we are looking at, if you put together, you are looking at 18 in 6 months, 18,000, and then in 1 year you are talking about 36,000. So you see that some of these directives are also backed by the action that is actually expected of the various services and the security agencies that are carrying out these operations. So you now see a situation where by the time this training is completed, more of the government spaces are going to be taken. The forest guard are already there. They have spread them out into some areas already within the country. We don't have to start mentioning the locations. And then we now also see a situation where as it concerns the policing, because what is supposed to happen is that we graduate the battle space in such a way that there are threats that are beyond perhaps what the police can contain. That it's not just the military that will be able to take on those areas. And those are the kind of actions that you see taking place in Sambisa right now, in another location called Timbuktu Triangle. And this particular operation that is ongoing provides they are the need for clearance operations. In the process of the clearance operations, a lot of people, like I am aware that just in the last 1 week, about 6 locations have been cleared, and I also know that about more than 23 strongholds of the Boko Haram elements are also they have been cleared from some of those locations. So you now see a situation where we used to have a situation before, whereby we clear some places and then we keep moving forward without generally occupying these locations. By the time these troops are inserted now, any place that is cleared is also occupied. So we now see a situation where, based on the gradation that I talked about, military continue to move into the tougher spaces, then the counter-terror police also move into perhaps the next level, maybe at level 4, where military is at level 5. And then you see at level 3 also, maybe a combined military and police or NSCDC working together. So these are some of the conditions you will start seeing on the ground as soon as these troops are being turned out.
Interesting. When you paint this picture, it sounds so, I don't know whether to say comforting, nice to the ears. But the Nigerian military has lost at least 3 commanding officers.
Tell him.
In charge of forward operations.
When he's talking, it sounds so nice.
Like Boko Haram and Iswa.
You preach.
Locations within a 7-day period in Borno State. And this brings to 7 the number of commanding officers.
Tell him.
One brigadier general reportedly killed within the last 3 months. So what is really happening? I mean, Nigerians are asking if soldiers are not safe.
They're coming to paint a picture. They are recruiting 1 million.
Well, I think that is from the perspective of a civilian, because we are paid to do this job, and anything could also happen. Imagine that without necessarily going into the front to go and confront someone, a bomb just drops at a location where the commanding officer is. These are some conditions that present itself in such a manner that their situation you can't explain, because they're just bound to happen. Yeah, it is true that we have some losses, okay, but still, when you look at some of the gains also on the part of the military, you will be able to say, okay, I can consolidate and see how I can do better in some of it. Take for instance, in the last 2 months, the deputy commander of the Boko Haram was taken out.
Nonsense.
And then there are 2 other prominent commanders who were also taken out. So we now see a situation where, although I will not rule out that there will be some errors, but then you look at a situation where, if you look at a battalion deployment, for instance, there could be a situation where, look, we are going on an operation, and perhaps we can, we say that the enemy is as trained as ourselves. The enemy is as trained. We should always assume that the enemy is as trained as ourselves. So you now see a situation where some of these people, we have seen where some of them are trained and where they are coming from, to the extent that they know how to conduct ambushes and the rest of them. You understand? So, because as you mentioned in the case of the general, those are the type of conditions.
I will take this discussion further. Nigeria's military has killed 45 bandits after they allegedly tried to steal a herd of cattle, according to local officials. This was after an initial attack by the bandits on Thursday, which members of the local community helped repel. It happened on Thursday, they repelled them, then on Friday, the army came in, and this number of bandits were killed. But then this calls to question the need for an organized policy to involve locals in this fight. And I don't know what you're going to say about that.
Okay, if we start taking tools as it pertains to casualties, you will see that we may not be able to put the figures together completely, because I'm aware that in this clearance operation that is actually ongoing, more than 50 militants or militiamen have been eliminated, bodies recovered. Okay, and we are talking about a situation where we are actually going in pursuit of these Boko Haram elements and ISWAP, and then you keep taking them out, and perhaps you are not even able to get all the bodies at the same time. But as per the number counted this evening, I'm giving you the figures. Okay, so we now see a situation where the troops are actually gaining grants, the terrorists are being dislodged, they are moving into other locations, and you now see a situation where
when they are
capturing barracks have not been reached out to right now are panicking. Because I will still take you that there are other areas, have a place they call Mandarin Mountains. So that kind of place is actually dominated by some of them. Several efforts have been made to dislodge them, but because of the nature of the terrain around the area.
In fact, if I take the statement of the cleric on intelligence and it will be all on leadership crisis, describing the killings of senior military officers as a worrying trend. Security expert and former director of the DSS, Mike Ejiofor, said that both short and long-term measures were required or are required to address the country's security challenges. He says the long term will be people or citizens or people who live in the community volunteering credible information to security agencies. He says the long term will be to defeat banditry, Boko Haram and terrorism, by establishing state police. What do you make of that combination? And the fact is that this is a worrying trend.
Well, from the very last question before this one, which has to do with the community, involvement of the community people. The experience on the field has been that due to several threats that the people have encountered in the past, they are so scared of volunteering information because they look at a situation where they could be sleeping at night and somebody just bumps into them and comes. So it's not as if they are not prepared. And, the military has a mechanism which actually makes them to have some interactions with the civilians, wherever. We do something we call the quick impact projects, which actually warms the military into the hearts of the populace when they move into a new location. So you now see a situation whereby, to some extent, they gain some grants with the populace. But because of some of the activities of these guys who loiter or just bump into them, either through ambushes or bump into the village sometimes and take them out, these are some of the things that actually prevents them from volunteering information. And according to
you talked about long term.
Yes, so
establishing state police.
So talking about long term, I mean we are all within the space now. We had the president making it point clear that state police, and I keep saying something that over the years, a lot of our leaders have failed to take this step, and for the fear that perhaps if you make it possible, then they will be arresting opposition or they will be doing something contrary to what the federal police will be doing. When we look at trends or how it is done in other countries, we can just go and study and borrow from the way some of these things, rather than exercising unnecessary fear and not actually doing what we need to do to make sure that people are secure. You can bet me that with the number of people that are going to be recruited now, based on perhaps the projections by the security elements within the various states, you now see a situation where this is going to actually help us to cover a lot of open spaces, especially within the communities. And then we will now be able to say, okay, fine, if we're able to have this level of foot on the ground in the various communities, and these are people that are going to be recruited within the communities anyway. And then they know the people, they know who to interact with. They are relating with the traditional rulers, they are relating with all the religious leaders and so on. Those who are in authority within the communities, they are able to relate with them. And then we now see a situation where timely information is gotten, and then this information is also shared, perhaps with the higher level. Yes, to help.
Now, more than 300, just give me a second, more than 300 people, including women and children, have been abducted by Islamic militants who attacked on Goshen, that's in Borno State, on Friday. Just this past Friday, reports that it was a retaliation for the killing of the 3 commanders of the Boko Haram militant group by Nigeria's military that you were talking about earlier on. And then P2B, a former presidential candidate, is warning that the repeated failure to protect citizens reflects a deeper leadership crisis and is calling for an urgent national response to what he describes a growing security emergency.
Okay, you are right that there were some, but I'm not sure the figure is right.
Well, it was at 300.
Okay, so based on what I have, but what I can say also is that I will not be able to dwell on specifics, but in Sambisa, some abducted people were freed. In fact, the first thing that happened was that over 100 of them escaped based on the hit that was brought on the adversary. And then after that, as the movement continued, you now saw a situation where more and more people. So you now see a situation in which across the entire space within the country, as reported by DHQ, about 460 or 500 people have been freed just in the last 2 months. Okay, so it is true that refugees, people are abducted.
Yeah.
And I can just paint a scenario and make you to understand how such things happen. Now, what is playing out is that these guys are being dislodged. And when they are dislodged and they lose contact with all these women and these men that are running, who are sex slaves and laborers for them within the theater or wherever they are in their enclaves, what happens is that they try to move to other locations where they think they will be safe. And the next thing is to start looking for who they can also grab and bring into their own, into their new locations. Now, that is on one side. The other side is that it is also another strategy by those that are expecting the arrival of the military that are coming into their enclave to come and chase them out, by using some of these people as human shield when they approach their location. So you see that the analysis has brought it out that they have a pattern that they always want to take people into their enclave, not just to use them as slaves or whatever, but then they also want to use them as their shield, so that they will be able to negotiate and prevent further attacks on them.
Let's get talked about that, General.
Yes, sir.
How about, and this is really disturbing, and I've had to raise it now and then, how about arresting and prosecuting the perpetrators of these dastard acts? That's the act. You say rescue missions prioritizing hostages over killing or arresting kidnappers. So the question is, when will killing and arresting and prosecuting these people and their sponsors become a priority for this government or for any government for that matter?
Okay. You are aware of the arrangements.
Because we hear of kidnappers, we hear of people rescued,
Yes.
but we hear nothing, absolutely nothing, of the people who are perpetrating these acts. And it begs the question, really.
I think specifically you are dwelling on kidnapping now, because in the case of
We're talking insecurity, that's not a
it is true. But I'm trying to say that as it relates to kidnapping, we saw a scenario that played out in Niger State, in which the children were freed. And we're saying, is it okay for us to just go on an assault to that location with 300 and something children under captivity? Or is it easy for us to first of all take them out and then we go after this people? Now, what I can say is this. Last year, Nigeria is supposed to launch about 4 satellites because these are the things that are going to help us out. And one of them, you will ask me, what the past government, what have they been waiting for? When we have this level of insecurity and we've not been able to actually have one that we can use to cover the entire space.
The questions that Nigerians are asking, you're asking yourself. So
you get me. So you now see a situation. I mean, so I'm explaining. Among these four satellites, one of them is actually designed for the security of this nation. And when it is launched, you can almost pick everything.
Now you have raised a very important.
You can always pick everything. You can pick car number plates. You can pick people from their houses. Simple tech I was using when I was SDF commander. I walk into people to their rooms to go and pick them. This equipment are available.
So why are we not using them? But before you answer that question, let me raise this issue with you. Former Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa strongly advocated fencing Nigeria's borders with 4 countries to cover security. I don't want to waste time calling the countries terrorism and arms smuggling using Saudi Arabia and Pakistan models. That's what he said. You have also described Nigeria's vast borders as an obstacle to effective control. Is it that we're big on talk and Lilliputian on action? Why hasn't this been implemented?
Okay. With all the sense of perhaps, let me say, being modest, I know that in this country, one of the things that we always fail to do is to get something started. For instance, you tell the governor that there's a 200-kilometer road within the state. It tells you that is too much for my budget. I cannot do it. Have you even done 1 kilometer? Okay, so if, for instance, somebody in the position of the CDS then, who is now the minister, which actually positioned him enough to be able to send this message across now, and we say, look, let us lay the foundation if we see it working elsewhere. Because I will tell you, I've been to all this, the whole of this northern axis. It's just a free field. You can drive through. You can take this lane, you can take this lane. That you even bothering yourself to go through the border. Somebody will look at you like, yeah, this man is stupid. So you now see a situation where, why don't we just start with the first 1 kilometer? And then we will be able to say, okay, other governments that are coming in, they will do the next 20, then other. So these are some of the problems.
Let's start with what you have,
yes,
and then project.
Exactly. So, okay, like even the case of the state police we are talking about, if you felt that it was so difficult, have you been able to open up and say, okay, let us recruit more hands so that we can have enough spread across the space? It was not done. They were just still doing the regular recruitment thing, which was not supposed to be the case. So we see a situation where somehow things are beginning to take shape. I don't know if they have the finances to do it, but I will still encourage that.
Is it really taking shape?
Yes,
political security seems to be worse.
When there are pronouncements that, look, do this.
That's why I said we're bigger.
Do this. I heard you. Yeah, I heard you. But this thing don't transform overnight.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Is it possible? Because you talked about, okay, you have 300 school children arrested, you have to prioritize saving them to prosecuting and catching the criminals. What are we really doing about preventing this series of attacks, whether it's on civilians or the military, so they don't get to have the advantage of negotiating? Because when we negotiate, we eventually give them money, and they go back and acquire equipment, and they come back and repeat the same thing, and we're back to square A.
Yeah, these are debatable assertions, because when people say certain things are being done, government says it's not done. We may not be able to know the position to take on that. But
I can tell you that I've been close to people who have experienced this thing, and I'm talking empirically.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to say that, look, as far as the military is concerned, as far as the security agencies are concerned, what actually is being expected of them now is just to take in more troops, occupy the space, okay, occupy the space, then take in more policemen, let them be dispersed enough within the Nigerian territory. And we're not talking about just starting to train and stopping. We're talking about a continuous kind of training. We are not even talking about where are they going to stay if the whole operation subsides. We are just tapping them into the field now and to make sure that the space is well occupied. If this is done, if forest guard is there, if state police is there, if the military is increased, if the police is taken away from the jobs that they are doing, and another 50,000 of them is trained and pushed into this space, I can tell you that something very reasonable will be achieved.
The snag there is if they get to be done. We hope they get to be done.
Because I guess the training is ongoing.
Yeah, like you said,
like I said,
pushing this.
Yeah, the training is ongoing.
So they can cover the whole area.
Exactly. The training is ongoing.
And so these people will not have any place to operate. Thank you so much.
You see the funniest thing? When they speak, you think they are serious. At the end of the day, there is no seriousness. They only come to the social media, to their conventional media, to make noise. After talking, speaking grammar, everything remained the same. This is somebody who was fighting the insurgents operation, Lafia Dole. Look at what nonsense he's saying. Trying to pretend that everything is well. The same people that could not achieve anything when they were there, today they are pretending that everything is well. It is sad, and we must continue to expose them.
Federal government knows every terrorist by name and location. Outrage as children seeing handling guns forced into terrorism in date, and police seal off aiding meeting venue in Cross River. Details now. The news at 6 begins with suspected gunmen shooting and abducting the council secretary of Okeluju Local Council Development Area under Akoko Northwest Council Area, Joseph Aladesu, and two others at a poultry farm along Kajola Road, Luabo, Akure North Council Area of Ondo State. The sporadic gunshots near the Akure airport threw the community into panic and led to the hurried closure of schools in the area. The development reportedly led to anxious parents rushing to schools to withdraw their children as rumors of insecurity spread quickly across the communities. In an interview, a parent said they hurried to schools immediately after hearing the gunshots to withdraw their children. One of the locals said the attackers stormed the community at about 9 a.m., firing gunshots into the air, causing panic among farmers, workers, and other residents in nearby communities. He said that Aladesu, who also serves as managing director of Jotina Farms, was said to be on his way to his farm with his daughter when they were ambushed by the gunmen who opened fire. The condition of Aladesu remains unclear, while his daughter was said to have been left behind by the abductors. Subsequently, the ugly development has triggered panic and anxiety across the community, with many residents expressing concerns over safety in the area. His abductors have not opened the line of communication with his family members. Kaduna-based Islamic scholar Sheikh Abubakar Gumi has alleged that the Nigerian government is aware of the identities and locations of terrorists operating across the country. The cleric made the claim during a recent television interview which began trending today. Gumi was reacting to accusations that he personally knows and regularly interacts with terrorists and bandits responsible for insecurity in parts of Nigeria, and that he often speaks on their behalf. Responding to the claims, the scholar said his contact with the armed groups are not conducted alone, insisting that security agencies are involved in the process. Gumi further stated that some of the engagements have involved visits to traditional rulers as well as trips into forests believed to be hideouts for bandits. The cleric had previously taken part in controversial dialogue initiatives with armed groups in northern Nigeria, maintaining that negotiation could help reduce violence and persuade fighters to lay down their arms. Let's not take a listen to Sheikh Gumi on this particular development as he speaks on the federal government being aware of the names and locations of dreaded terrorists in Nigeria.
Well, sir. Well, a lot of people have seen clips and pictures with these terrorists where we know where they are. We've communicated with them, we've even as far as negotiating with them, you know. So a lot of people believe that since you have this knowledge about all this, is it that the government does not have the power or the equipment to know where these terrorists are to tackle insecurity?
The government knows every terrorist by name and by location. I didn't go there, no. I don't go to the terrorists alone. I call the police, I call the security, everybody. I will go to the NES or that place. And for when we went to one terrorist, I went to women with me. It was the bush. The moment you didn't see her before they came out, I was not concentrating on it. I don't really know.
Now, a disturbing video circulating widely on social media has triggered anger and concern across Nigeria after it showed several young boys dressed in military-style uniforms and handling firearms in the forested area of Borno State. The footage, which surfaced online in recent days, showed dozens of children standing in lines while performing drills and chanting in what appears to be a paramilitary training session. Many of the boys appear to be very young, with some estimated to be around 9 years old. In the clip, the children are seen wearing military camouflage uniforms similar to those used by the Nigerian military. Some of the uniforms appear oversized, some soldiers or abandoned military equipment during attacks on security formations in the region. Security analysts believe the footage is likely linked to insurgent groups such as Boko Haram or the Islamic State West Africa province ISWAP, both of which have operated in Borno and surrounding states for a decade. These groups have repeatedly been accused of recruiting minors and using them for combat, intelligence gathering, and propaganda. Local sources in Borno said the language spoken by some of the children in the video suggests they may be from communities around the Ngoshe axis in Woza local government area. The area has recently witnessed renewed attacks by insurgents, including raids on villages and military bases. There are growing fears that some of the boys seen in the footage could be among the lessons recently abducted during attacks in the region. Just days ago, terrorists invaded communities in Woza, killing several people and abducting hundreds of villagers, including women and children. The recruitment or use of children in armed conflict is considered a serious abuse under Global Child Protection Conventions. In a very recent development, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, University of Lagos chapter, is set to embark on an indefinite strike. The union attributed the reason for the industrial action to what it described as amputated salaries received from university management in January and February 2026. This is contained in a communique issued and signed by Do Kendi, its chairperson, and additional Arikawi secretary at the end of an emergency meeting held today. According to the union, the indefinite strike would commence from Wednesday till the university management accedes to its demands. We'll bring you more updates on this as the situation unfolds. A team of police officers in Calabar today sealed off the venue scheduled for the inauguration of the African Democratic Congress ADC membership registration, mobilization, and revalidation committee. Ahead of the party primaries, the ADC in the state had constituted a membership committee headed by Eko Alabo. The committee was slated to be inaugurated today, March 10, 2026, at the event center along Marian Road by 10 a.m. However, as early as 7 a.m., a team of police officers cordoned off the venue, preventing party members from accessing the premises. A source close to the security operative said the officers were acting on orders to seal the venue following a petition allegedly submitted by some party members. Efforts to resolve the situation proved unsuccessful even as some senior ADC figures, including the South Zonal Vice Chairman Usani Uguru Usani and Basi Eko Ewa met with the Commissioner of Police to address the issue. The venue for the meeting was later moved to the residence of Usani, where a large number of party members reportedly gathered. You're listening to the news at 6 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll now head to the news analysis segment. I have joining me via the telephone Mr. Awa Omiko of the Sunday editorial desk, who will be giving us his own perspective and analysis on the issues in the news this evening. Good to have you here, sir. Good evening to you.
Good evening. How are you, Gemma?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Let's talk about insecurity. A very unfortunate development that it's not just bedeviling Nigeria, but takes the bulk of our news stories and news bulletins every other day. Let's talk about the fact that these people are making inroads into the southwest. There was an attack and an abduction in Akure today, the Edo State capital, very close to the Akure airport. The airport is one port of entry from the state. It's an entry and exit point for citizens, for visitors, tourists, and others into the state. What can the governor do? In the midst of this, Sheikumi is telling us that the federal government knows every terrorist by name. Their names are known, their locations are known. What exactly is the excuse for not weeding them out?
As you can see, just a political game. The fear of losing 2027 election is telling victory within the vines and within the games of APC government. So nothing proactive seems to be done. If you look at it, they just been handling this with the child golf, with the child pool. So nothing much serious seems to be done. If you go again, coming on to the states, what will the state governor do? If the state governor should really act, really activate, really understand his power as the executive governor, he has to take proactive action. And one, even if the state police has not been approved, this is the elected group. But when they are not supposed to be active, no, give you a symbol. Not a symbol. One thing makes some of these governors that seems to be doing that. Most of them are indirectly criminals of the ruling party. If you look at what happened with the rules between the APC and PDP during the time of Obasanjo, we saw what the Lagos State government did then, and which was President Tinubu of today. So what they did, the policies of the federal government, just to make sure that he defends the Lagos State very well. He created 50 local government, which today has been turned to 50 federal councils. If these governors could go ahead, take a breaking actions like that, just to defend their state. You see other governments will follow suit, and will make sure that these criminals are chased out. Nobody has a feeling of violence. You make sure that you secure the people. Use all means within your arsenal to deal with them and kill them out of your state. Imagine the first attack is the airport, which is the border. When the airport is road that are possible, they are safe to travel. You can't travel by air, you can't travel by road. That's exactly what it's saying. It's being people like that locked in within their state. That's a shameful thing. Let them act their powers as the executive state government. That role is executive. They are very powerful. So let them act it and stop playing Abuja politics. Because Abuja politics will not help everybody within the state and at the grassroots level. And it will not save any life. Until something is done, until something proactive, until corrective measures are used to change people, they will not give in. And you look at the way, and when it has started with this stage, it will go ahead to other states. And then, as you may say, the attachment this thing they did a simple war because of the pedigree of the state at checking this intruder. Remember, it was in the state that struck some of them, and it was in the state that recently they were caught, and it was only in the state that that British vehicle was discovered to be a courier of weapons. And that is why they want to hijack on this thing. Make sure that on this thing is brought down so that they can use it as an income to other things. But the government shouldn't give in. Let the government be creative. Let the government do all we can do within his power to make sure that he lets them out. And how can you do this? They keep the vigilante group, exercise the people, the security networks, the security architecture, that don't serve the military at least. Most times they compromise. But if you can equip them and put them on their lap, they want to work. And with all this, I think, and make citizenship vigilant. Make them to actually know how to guide their society. One, seek out what you have seen that is true. And limit them. Limit some of these foreigners to a certain level. I think they should borrow a win. I keep on making reference to it. They should borrow a win from active people and the hot people in their state and how they will be able to check their environment. I think when that is done, that we will be able to check them. Thank you.
While we're talking about insecurity, there is a bigger threat. I don't know if you've seen this video circulating online of young boys, very young boys, as young as 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, in military camouflage. I mean, the type worn by the Nigerian military, some of which are looking oversized. And it seems that these are young boys who are being indoctrinated. They are what some Nigerians are taking to calling baby terrorists, right? Now, in this footage, there are dozens of children, not just a few. There were a lot of them. They were performing drills, chanting. It was like a training session was ongoing for them. Now, there is a fear that these young boys are not even just like children of, these terrorists, but like young boys who were abducted, who were victims of attacks on their villages, who have been taken into the bush. When others are released, they are not released. They have been indoctrinated. They are the ones who will continue to keep the flag of terrorism flying. And the Nigerians are asking, how can we ensure that our children are not being abducted, taken into the forest, never to be seen again, only to re-emerge when they are grown as terrorists? Because that is the only life that they will then know. And then we know that using children in armed conflicts is considered a very serious abuse, a very serious offense under global child protection laws.
Now, if you look at that, it is quite unfortunate that we are in a country where we seem not to act on things like that. There is no way the government knows about this. And I stand to be corrected. And I know I'm 99.9 correct. If you can help it, to the extent that you and I, somebody says the main man in the school has a footage of that, can't we trace them? Can't we get them? Are they in mass? Why don't you capital? No, they're in Nigeria. They're not in mass. Instead of sending these children to school, they are rather equipping them to kill, to mine, to destroy. And what do you think will be the psychological impact? The socio-economic implications on the society and the psyche of these children. What do you think will be the consequences? Then that is always the way. They will come out to be association in the society. They will come out to be destructive. They will come out to be maladjusted. And the only way to do that is to kidnap, go back to that place. That munition is within Nigeria. get them arrested, get that area destroyed. Let us stop playing game politics with me. Because we are afraid of what the region, what the area will say if we destroy it. But if that area is trying to destroy the whole country, why don't we apply the theory of killing the cancer and cut them off and decimate them? We have them. Let's flatten them. That is the only way, that is the only thing we need. If we don't want peace, you use creative method to remove them from that place. Because if you keep on allowing the children to grow up, imagine now you say you want to absorb them to the society. How will those children that have undergone military training not be able to go in an ordinary secondary school? They will end up being out. They will end up abusing others. They will end up bullying others. And they will end up not being useful to us. So, after abusing those children, we are making society equally, that area, equally ungovernable. So, one of the things we need to do, map it out, get that place, and get to the root of it. This is not Iran, another is this in Russia. It is in Iran that the people they do such things because they use them to ferment trouble in the country. When you see them as a child, you won't be able to touch them. But when they get to your knee, they will be able to cause a lot of havoc. So let us prevent that before the havoc comes us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Awa. Let's go to Cross River State. Something happened in Cross River State today, and this has to do with the ADC, the African Democratic Congress. They were supposed to inaugurate their membership registration committee in at a particular event center in Cross River State by 10 a.m. But by 7 a.m., the police came and sealed off the venue. And after questions were asked, it turned out that they were actually reportedly acting on the orders of other party members who had written a petition against the people who wanted to inaugurate that committee right there in that venue. So the committee, they had to move somewhere else to inaugurate that committee. That is to say that they later did what they wanted to do, but I'm really looking at the internal wranglings within the ADC because it seems there's a lot of disunity within them. This is not one of those attacks that people would blame the opposition for, right? Because there was no violence involved. But if these are the people who claim that they're coming to, quote and unquote, rescue Nigerians from the claws of the APC, but they do not have unity in their homes, they do not have unity within them, they are having these internal squabbles to the extent where they will not even allow each other to gather. What is going on? Remember that in Benin, when the venue, the FC Secretariat was attacked, when Peter Obi was there, it was attacked, Edo State Governor Okpebholo came out to say that this is internal party crisis taking too far. With what we saw in Cross River State today, could it really be true that what happened in Benin was an internal party crisis that was taken too far?
We're still going to see more. We've not started seeing anything. We're still going to see more. In fact, we won't get a situation where they will be shooting at one another. Why? It's because money is going around.
Money from whom?
Money, don't worry. So you listen to me. Listen at us. Money is going around. The ruling government is so powerful, and the spirit of wicked has spread everywhere. The ruling party and the spirit of wicked, what the crisis that started with PDP, that theory that was voted with PDP is what some of them are still holding. And mind you, these same people were those that left PDP and left APC and partly the neutral people. They have come to realize that, we cannot hold ground. No matter what they do, there's no position, let's just put it that way. And because the reason why there's no position is because there's no political ideology. What political ideology do they have? Can any of you come to tell us that this is the ideology of APC or this is the political platform of PDP? No, that neither do you have a Republican, neither do you have a socialist. All of them are going wrong thing. They all facing towards one direction. And when you face towards one direction, I won't say this that no position in Nigeria. You know, I won't say it was wrong. And once we are all facing towards one direction, they will be struggling for power. And the ruling party will use indirect means to destroy the opposition. It is an issue of power. The ruling party cannot pretend to want to know what is happening. But its agents have been perpetrated into all the other existing powers. Because the other existing political parties, because their policies are not that big. Nothing you can't differentiate PDP from ACC and ACC from ADC. Which works, you can't. They lack that ideology. And that is poverty of thought. Poverty of political thought. And because we lack that poverty of thought, and that is why every one of them seems to be each other. All of them are rich enough to start. If you ask them, if you take any properties from them, you see a lot of them will be looked at. And that
you're not blaming the ruling party for the problems within the opposition party. And this program ADC should be traced back to the APC, really?
Hear me well. I didn't put the whole blame on the ruling party. I said the ruling party is contributing towards that. Then I said, the poverty of thought, none of them have their own political dynamics to say we are socialists, we are welfarists, we are Republicans. No! And because all of them are pressing towards one direction, that is why they are having this crisis. Because if they come up to say we are Democrats, Democrats have an element of one thing or the other to follow, one principle or the other to follow. And same thing is with welfare, same thing is with Republicans. They're not. There's no proper political ideology which they are pursuing. The only thing they are pursuing is the naira and dollar and how to sell our oil. Nothing. And how to reach the debt. And that is why they are using all means, both fair and cook, to make sure that they get there. And we cannot rule, I repeat, you cannot rule out the power, either immediate or by proxy of the ruling party. And that is interest on its own. The ruling party may pretend not to know, but yet they are filing their underground spies in all the political parties, especially those coming up. Go there and destroy them. At least we don't want anybody to come and challenge us. And what do you expect? And they will do that. We have it in politics, we have it in economics, and we have it in other social organizations that are fighting for common, that are fighting for the center, for common goods. The big ones will always want to kill the smaller ones and swallow them up. So that is life. So what I'm only saying is in this ADC members should jettison their egos, forget their past, forget their dirty past and dirty history, and form and agree to push down, to overtake, to wrestle power from APC, from the ruling party. They're able to do that. And until they remove the strangers in their midst, they will never have peace. They'll keep on fighting.
How can they identify the strangers in their midst? We have a lot of people, a lot of notable Nigerians, a lot of admiring Nigerians rushing to join the party, believing, it's the best thing it's the best thing to come out of Nigeria, it's the best political party for now, it's the most formidable force against the APC in 2027. So how can they actually fish out those with ulterior motives, those who do not have good intentions? Because there are some ready to welcome just anybody into the fold.
You know a tree by its fruit. You don't just open your arms to welcome anybody because you want to win. Let's take the case of NPP and GMPP. When Uncle Waziri, who was the political head of GMPP, and Nanda ZPA, NPN, Nanda ZPA never formed NPN, they was invited. But when Waziri discovered that their choice, their ways are not the same, Waziri parted ways and formed GNPP. So that as in politics, you must know your same bedfellows. You must know them by their act. You must know them by the way they act and by the way they present issues. If you go back to 1962 or 1954, you will discover that Akintola and Babakuna were once the same party. But when things they began to happen and they discovered they were same fellows, they parted ways and formed different parties. So if ABC should identify those strange bedfellows, don't look at the money they are bringing in. Look at their roles they are going to play and how they are going to carry the party forward. It is in realizing this that will make that party formidable. And once they know that the party is formidable, and Nigerians discover that this party is formidable, and this party has what it takes, and the Nigerians are easy to govern, and they will follow. But once you go there, every committee you want to form, you fight. You have turned it to area boys. In fact, the area boys are even better. Because even the jungle, the strongest becomes the king. But today, the strongest is not the king. Claim to have equal status. You want to be the governor, want to be the governor. Until they realize that our common goal should be how to wrestle power from APC. And if they don't realize, they'll keep on fighting. In fact, they will end up not even fighting the candidate. Thank you.
You blame Nigerians for not believing in the ADC's agenda. Because when it was anything but Jonathan, the APC came with change. A lot of Nigerians believed them. In 2023, the APC came with renewed hope. A lot of Nigerians believe them, and the people who believe them are now lamented. Right? So, do you really expect Nigerians to believe in the ADC's agenda if they are not even united, if they can't one popular candidate, if they cannot come together, okay, this is actually what we want to do and stick to it?
I like the reference to just made. During that 2023, you can see that they all came together. There were less fighting. If fighting wasn't much there, in fact, whenever they had crisis, they know how to settle it. And it was even an amalgam of parties, not even individuals. They are amalgam of parties. And they were able to control themselves at that 2023, which would have even be more difficult. But because this amalgam of parties had a common goal and a common vision, and which was to wrestle power from PDP and to remove Jonathan as the president. They all agreed and swallowed what they need to swallow. A Tinubu was there, another was there until they aligned. They removed their ego and aligned themselves towards achieving that goal. One thing we know is that we are historical. We are historical, but we fail to understand the principles and practice of being a historical and a history. There are two different things. A historical is somebody that sees things unfold. History is what has happened and we should be able to learn from it. It's a concept of knowledge. We fail to always draw from it. Until we go back to that, understand the scenario, and bring it to present form. And that is why it is very, very useful. You study the past, look at the scenario and the take around, and bring it to present. And until APC do that, until ABC do that, they will fail. And I'm not wishing them bad. And then am I professing negativity to them? If they don't hold their hands together, if you get to the level where we will be shooting each other at their campaign, and we tell their thing, look at 26, 2027, even high enough, and yet they are not formidable. How will they be? And how will they be able to find a candidate? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Awa Omeko, for joining us on the news at 6 this evening. I really appreciate your presence and your analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You have been listening to the news at 6 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Hey, they are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a different heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home. I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of our heroes' blood. Abagana Zobunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us. Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.